I did want to just briefly address yesterday's... we had quite a spirited discussion here yesterday on the program. Tony D had called in, and Jon Hopwood was here with us in studio. And they got into quite the argument. It got, I don't know if you heard it at Texas Mike, it got so intense, EZG ended up leaving.
Really?
Yeah, well, it interrupted his entertainment report, which can happen.
Yes.
Funny enough, though, they were just, the argument was winding down at the precise moment that he decided to leave. But what can you do? But I understand, it was raising his anxiety and whatnot. But so I just, I was thinking about it today. And, Jon gets, to use his term, very hyperkinetic. He gets very worked up and he starts yelling and he kind of, and by the way, none of this is to knock, and I know he's listening, none of this is to knock Jon Hopwood or criticize him in any way, because I love Jon Hopwood. I think everyone knows that, and whatever ball breaking we do on the show is done with love. But I did fundamentally agree with Tony D's position on this. And Jon kind of came around a little bit afterward when he calmed down. But I was thinking about it today, and I was thinking about how, because the big crux of the discussion was Jon had mentioned Martin Luther King. And Tony D kept saying, what does Martin Luther King have to do with this? And he kept asking him, and Jon wouldn't answer him, and he's just getting more and more worked up. And, I love it when a big argument breaks out on the show. I think it's great radio. I think it's compelling. Not everyone likes it. I find it very compelling, especially when I'm not the one arguing, and I just get to watch the argument unfold. I'm like, this is great. So, anyway... But it was pretty intense. It got pretty intense. But I realized, I was kind of analyzing it, and I know what Jon Hopwood was trying to put across. And once he calmed down a little bit, he was able to express some of it yesterday. But I think I understand, having been around him a lot, having done a lot of shows with him, both here and when we used to do the television shows together. So allow me, if I may, and if Jon doesn't mind, because I know he's listening, I would like to take a moment and just kind of try to be the Hopwood whisperer. Jon just posted something in the chat, but so the Martin Luther King thing. So I know what Jon was trying to put across, but he wasn't explaining it. What I think happens with Jon sometimes is, he gets triggered, but he's sort of trying to argue multiple things all at once, and he ends up getting in his own way. So he brings up Martin Luther King. Tony didn't know what that was about. He kept asking him, which is a perfectly legitimate thing to do. Why are you bringing up Martin Luther King? What do you mean? And I knew the context that Jon was going for, but Jon wasn't explaining it. Instead, he just, in the moment, and like I said, he'll acknowledge this, I'm sure. In a moment like that, he's just getting so frustrated that the other person doesn't understand what he means, and he doesn't want to have to explain it. And the thing that I kind of realized today when I was thinking about it is, how, you may have heard this, Texas Mike, there's a rule in politics. Now, Jon is not a politician, but you'll see where I'm going. There's a rule in politics. If you're a politician and you're running for office or you're holding office and you're interacting with the media or you're in a debate with somebody, some sort of public disagreement, you never answer the question that was asked. You always answer the question that you wish had been asked. And if you watch carefully, you'll see politicians do that all the time. Jon has his own kind of variation about it, but of that, I think. But it kind of goes like this. Jon doesn't want to have the argument that you want to have. Jon wants to have the argument that he wants to have. Right. Because the argument that he wants to have is more interesting to him in his own mind than the argument that you want to have. So when Jon mentions, so for example, Jon mentions Martin Luther King, what Jon was trying to put across was, and by the way, it's a valid point. He just was expressing it poorly because he got so worked up. But because he really didn't express it at all. He just kind of threw it out there, and then he's like, he doesn't want to explain it. But I knew what he was going for, because what he was trying to explain is, it's not, see, Tony was kind of taking the position of, this is on the unvaccinated, why we're still dealing with this. And I agree with Tony. And if you're a regular listener of the show, the show's called Unleashed for a reason. I say what I think. I also blame the unvaccinated. John was saying it's not so simple as just blaming the unvaccinated, because it's not like they're all just right-wing conspiracy theorists. A lot of it is, and John's right. He's right to point this out. It's a valid thing to say. A lot of it is people who are not conservatives, not right-wing, but minorities, Black Americans who are skeptical of what the government tells them, what the media tells them. History tells us that, the Tuskegee experiments, for example, that there have been some very bad things that have been done to Black Americans under the guise of this is supposed to help you medically. So we won't get into all of that. We don't have time. But although it would be an interesting discussion to take a deep dive into at some point on the show. But so when John mentioned Martin Luther King, I believe, he was saying, because he did say something about read the speeches of Martin Luther King, and then you'll have a better understanding of why Black Americans feel the way they do and where the skepticism comes from and how they've been treated, and why they're not necessarily going to just go along with this when they're told this is what we have to do. Now, so that's a perfectly valid thing, and that's where Martin Luther King came into it. But he didn't want to explain that to Tony. He didn't want to take the time to explain that to Tony, because John is, in his mind, he's trying to argue multiple points at once. He's trying to argue why you can't just blame the unvaccinated. It's not that simple. And he's trying to argue about whether or not whether or not it's even possible to end this pandemic. I believe it is. John disagreed with that too. He's kind of all this. So that's why he starts lurching around all over the place and getting very worked up without addressing. And he ends up not answering anything or addressing anything of the person that he's arguing with, because he's lurching around. So Tony D never gets an answer to his question. Why were you mentioning Martin Luther King? So I think that's basically what happened yesterday, and John seems to agree. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's the person whose mic you should have shut off yesterday. I blame you.
You blame me? Oh, boy. Am I right, though? Do I understand you?
You got everything exactly right except one thing.
Okay.
When he was asking about Martin Luther King, for the life of me, I couldn't remember why I had brought him up.
Oh, that's why.
I figured I remembered why.
You're right. So
that was...
So you getting
Tony triggered me.
Yes.
And that's PTSD, because last night couldn't even... I had all... I apologize for that. And... because he started saying things, and he was attacking me personally, which, if it's Joe, it's one thing, but I don't really know, and that got me going. But so I apologized for that,
Well, that's
what happened, because you got it exactly right. I'm arguing from I'm over here, and I'm realizing afterwards when I come to, geez, two things. We're arguing about two different things, really.
Right. Right.
I'm like, you guys are talking about what's going on right here and now, and I'm like one of these people in an ivory tower. How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Parsing. Well, what does the word blame really mean?
Right.
That's such a nasty word or something. But the thing I was waiting for you, I think I sent you a message. It's like, when things like this happen to me, it's interesting in a way, because it was the same with Crazy Joe. He didn't trigger the PTSD. It's like all of a sudden you're like, you realize you're in over your head. You can't feel the bottom and you're swimming. Are you going to make it? Now,
Yeah.
usually I always do, because I'll do a dog paddle or something.
Yeah.
But and get to the shore.
Yeah.
But you gave me a look, and you used the voice at one point where you go, "This is my show."
Yeah.
It's happened 3 times that you've had to do that.
Once in a while, you have to be reminded. Well,
but once you got me reined in, then you started talking, and you were making perfect sense. And it would be interesting to have a show where we do talk about the moral responsibility. Because
yes.
I sent you, something from the National Institutes of Health. Because these vaccinations, which everybody should get vaccinated,
yes,
is these discussions have been going on from time immemorial. But I sent you a message afterwards when I started doing. You're doing it every day. You're up to date, where I'm not, and you're dealing with the people and everything. And I come in like a dilettante, right? I'm going to have an argument because I like to argue.
Yes.
I didn't realize that only 50%, or it's 51.1% of America is fully vaccinated.
It's too low.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 2/3. So that's different.
The numbers. I think it's 2/3. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 2/3 have had one dose. And it's about 53%. I think that have had both doses that are fully vaxxed. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But
so that puts a different spin on when you ask, should there be a mandate?
Right. By the way, Rob Azevedo is here.
Is that Hopper?
Who is?
Hopwood.
Oh, I love Hop, man. I love Hop.
Just don't listen to the show yesterday.
Oh, I want to. I was just hearing that there was a big blowout. I gotta do the replay.
Oh yeah, you gotta hear it.
I love those.
It's great radio.
That's like another person that I don't particularly like.
He just exploded.
He comes raging through. Oh, when Tony D, all of a sudden his voice went shrill. And, I'm thinking afterwards, God, it's like being yelled at by a drill instructor.
Yeah.
But I apologize because I really did hijack the discussion. I didn't hijack it, but you got exactly what happened down.
Oh,
I'm not even arguing the same thing.
Right.
But
that happens a lot. And by the way, that happens a lot on this show. But by the way, it doesn't just happen with you. And it doesn't just happen on this show either. I see it all the time where people are having political arguments or even arguments that aren't political, where if you analyze it, it's like, you know what? They're not actually arguing about the same thing, and they're just arguing past each other about two different things that are related but are not actually the same thing.
And this was about vaccinations?
Yeah.
Well, if you guys needed any clarity, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm stepping on you. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you're just doing what I always do. I support vaccination. But I'm going to hang up because I just want to say something. When you were saying that, Matt, how much of our political discourse is the exact same thing as what you said? We're arguing about two different things.
Yep.
But, take care. I'll see you next week.
All right, John. Thank you.
But about just about the vaccinations, if you need any clarity, just go down to 2nd Street and there's a detailing place that must be very pro-Trump because it says presidents can't make laws. No vaccine mandates. And last time I checked, isn't that the only person that can make a bill a law is a president?
Well, he signs it. Well, it can pass. It can pass without him signing it if Congress overrides it. But basically, that is a pretty ignorant sign that they put up.
That's when stupidity moves past just being an insult and goes right to factual.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, God, man. I almost called the place and said,
"You should."
I'm not giving you a hard time, man. I'm just saying you look stupid.
Yeah. We have a call. We'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matt. Ron. Hey, John, if you're listening, I hope you are. I got more respect for you now than I did yesterday. I'm glad to say that you are capable of seeing the light, and that's all.
Oh, very good. All right. Thank you, Ron. Great call. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it was quite a but I'll tell you what happened, too. So when something like that happens, I like to clip it and make a separate clip for YouTube.
Yeah.
So if somebody just wants to hear the argument or whatever happened on the show that day without hearing the whole show, I got a strike on YouTube for, quote, medical misinformation.
No kidding.
Yeah. And everybody in the room was pro-vax. No one was arguing, but I got a strike. I shouldn't have mentioned vaccines in the title, probably. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's Easy G. Before you wrap up the show today,
yes, Easy G.
I have to.
We have a new
go
scandal
against you, and I have to tell you that was not good radio. That's why I had to leave yesterday. It was just too much for me.
Well, it was too much for you, but for someone like me,
it was too much for me. I was all the arguing. Second week in a row. And if you're still listening, but the second week in a row, Tony D was, I think he was out of line.
I don't think.
That's my viewpoint.
I don't think he was out of line. But I have a question, EZG. By the way, it's been brought to my attention. So I got here today, and there's this box with a donut in it, and it says "To Matt" from EZG. But then I come to find out someone else wrote that, not you. I thought the unbirthday elf had struck again, but apparently this was someone else doing your bidding.
Maybe it was Gonzo.
No, I know who it was, and I know it wasn't you. So why are you taking credit for someone else giving me a donut? I think we have a new scandal.
I don't know. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you. That's the point.
I wonder who it was.
I know who it was, but it wasn't you.
They just wrote your name.
All right.
Yeah, they just wrote your name. You just let people write your name on boxes from Dunkin' Donuts?
More importantly, he let the credit just be
Exactly.
Yeah, weird.
dressed right upon him,
Exactly.
which is a good move.
Well, it can be, if it's a situation where you're not going to get caught.
Right.
But EZG is very scandal prone. He always gets caught.
But my opinion, Matt, you think it's good radio, but for me, it was just too much. That's why I had to leave. So
I loved
normally
it.
I don't do that. I don't think I've ever left during the show, but my anxiety was just going. I had to get out of there.
I love a great argument. When a fight breaks out on the show, I love it.
Yeah,
It's almost
It was
arousing.
just too much for me, though.
I could barely stand up. It was so good. But look, hey, what can I tell you? Now you're taking next week off, EZG?
Oh yeah, definitely. I got somewhere to go next Thursday. So
Okay.
I'm going to take the week off and clear my head. So
Clear
that
your
way, when I
head.
come back, I'll be all fresh.
You'll be all fresh and ready for another big fight.
Yeah, because believe it or not, right now, Amanda McCarthy doesn't have any tour dates. He's taking some little breaks. He's working on some new songs for our upcoming album.
Gonzo is in the chat room and says, "Thanks for throwing me under the bus, EZG." Oh, boy.
Hey, no problem.
This is a scandal that
No
is not
problem.
going
Like he
to
was
go
going to throw me
away.
under the bus.
This is a scandal
Goes
that is
both
not...
ways, Gonzo.
This beautiful donut that I thought you had left for me. And now, once again, our city is awash in scandal and Boston cream. And it's your fault.
Oh boy, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got to wrap up the show, but
Yes.
you got a show coming up. Not like yesterday where the show was canceled.
That's right.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. EZG, Eric Agnon. Yeah, he ended up leaving yesterday during the argument.
I can picture that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can picture that.
Yeah.
He gets overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does he look it physically like he's getting overwhelmed?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has this. He gets this look on his face where he's like, "I just want this to be over."